What is up, everyone? This is episode 45 of Shoebooty Sports. That's the 1995 Michael Jordan coming out of retirement, joining the Bulls for the stint leading up to the second three-peat version of Shoebooty Sports. This is your
It's a
host, Graham
long
Powell.
title.
I know, right? This is your host, Graham Powell, co-host Bradley Brown. Say hi,
That's
Bradley.
me. What's up?
Yeah, and yeah, college football is back. Awesome.
Thank
Lot,
God.
yes, I know. Like the week zero was, I didn't count that really as college football is back. Like that's the week of let's get all these teams that aren't going to have primetime television games action. Like this is the week to do it. That was essentially what week zero was. But week one underway, a few big games, some really good games, like the App State, North Carolina game, among others. A lot of really close games, which happens. Appalachian State they seem to do that every other year, compete against the Power Five team and either beat them or compete like that with them. Of course, that's a top tier. They're not FCS, are they?
I don't think so.
Or Division Two or whatever they are. I can't even follow what they call them now. One, two, Division One, two, three, FCS, FBS, whatever.
They're a smaller college school.
Yeah, we'll just go with that. That sounds easier, well, because it is. But three big games really that stood out to me. Well, really there were two. No, okay, there were big games. Just some ended up being really good games. Let me put it that way. Arkansas Cincinnati ended up being essentially what I thought it would, competitive wise. I figured it would be a competitive game. We both picked Arkansas to win. They did that.
I think
What'd
I
you
picked
think?
the exact score.
Did you?
Yeah.
I Yeah, I
We'll have to go
obviously
back.
had.
I think I said 31-24. So
What did it end up being?
31-24.
Was it 31-24? Okay. What did I say? Like 35-27, I think it was.
Yeah.
So we were both essentially in the ballpark. We had a competitive game. If you said the exact score, I mean, props to you. Did you put any money on it?
No, that's the one thing I forgot to do this year last week was set up my online gambling, but did not do it.
Probably a good thing.
Probably a good thing after what I seen from the weekend. So
Yes. The Okay, first of all, KJ Jefferson looked like the leader of the team out there. Very impressed with him. Of course, KJ had a good year last year, just that
yeah.
a lot of that was chalked up to, hey, he's got a absolute stud receiver, but you still got to get it. Somebody's got to get him the ball. Traylon Burks the ball. KJ always takes care of the ball. He's smart with the football, smart with his decision making. He doesn't just he's not one of those. He's not DJ. I just call him DJ 5, the Clemson quarterback. He looks too. He doesn't trust his line, and you can tell that still. He he doesn't go through all of his reads. Basically, is what it looks like to me, and he takes off sooner than he should a lot of times. And a lot of times, it's not even like it's too soon to the point that like they know what's coming and they swarm him quick. And we'll get to that game in a bit, but KJ's smart about when to run and when not to run. Of course, a lot of the times it's design calls, but he's smart about when to do it and when not to do it. He's a good decision maker, smart player, takes care of the football. I like what I'm seeing from KJ Jefferson. Overall assessment of the Hogs, what grading them, what would you give them just overall? And did anything stand out to you in
Man,
particular?
I give I don't think I can give them an A. I can give them a B plus. It'd probably be an A if we wouldn't have lost to any of our safeties or anything. I don't know. I just like to see more pass rush than what we were getting. Of course, I don't know if we were drawing it up that much, but
I
I don't
wouldn't
know.
go B plus. I'd say uh, B minus in that range. Uh, I liked what I saw from KJ. He missed a couple of throws, but I mean KJ does.
Hmm.
There's a reason he's not going to the draft after this season. As awesome as he is at Arkansas, and as much as I'm glad he's the Razorback quarterback, he's not CJ Stroud. He's not just this projected obvious number one pick. Coming out. Of course, that's not. CJ Stroud is he's the cream of the crop as far as collegiate quarterbacks going to the next level right now. But we'll get to that. I like KJ is my point. But yeah, he did what KJ does. He missed some throws, but he made up for it too. I think we scored. I think we still scored a touchdown on that same possession. He missed that throw, like the slant route to the end zone. I can't remember the receiver he threw it to. But Raheem Sanders is the Rocket was the guy that stood out to me. He's clearly kind of becoming the number one when last year it was a tripod of running back by
Hmm.
committee thing. And he and they and but oh Debinion, by the way,
Yeah,
the
so saying the
freshman.
Binion looked pretty dang good, man.
Yes, he broke that one full on broke that dude's ankles, made him faint. Like didn't like break like he full on like looked like he fainted. Like to the like I'm serious. Like not only did his ankles just shatter, it's like it was like a kill shot. Like he got hit and it was he just fell and just didn't even it was pretty comical like thinking back on it now. But he was very impressive. So he's going to be fun to watch in the years to come. But Rocket Sanders, obviously the looking like the clear cut guy, going over 100 yards. I don't know if he'll get to do that every game because he could if they asked him to do that, but
Yeah.
he's probably not going to get the opportunity to do that, and that's a good thing, I would say. I don't want to see. I didn't like seeing KJ, running the ball at the end of the game. Now, of course,
Yeah.
the deciding first down, he of course had to do it. But I mean, I more so mean when the game's like locked up. It's like, nah, give it to a back, hand off, let's get out of here, type of thing. He takes enough hits as it is, and got banged up a little bit in that one,
Hmm.
which he's going to do, with his style of play. But overall, pleased with KJ. Yeah, it would just be nice to get healthy in the secondary. Of course, I mean, just wouldn't we all? Wouldn't everybody? But yeah, I liked what I saw from Arkansas. I really like their chances. Heading into Saturday's game against South Carolina. Which, by the way, what the next 3 games are home games or something like that.
Yep. Hopefully the next one's the only one that's at 11.
That's what?
That's at 11.
Oh, at 11. I
Yeah,
was
I
like,
think I
what?
ran like 3 words together, so my
Well,
bad.
yeah, I did. I was like, is that some kind of thing that just happened that I don't know
Yeah,
about
man,
that I
them
haven't heard
games at
about?
11.
Okay, I got that. Yeah. Is it an 11 o'clock game
Yeah,
Saturday?
I believe so. 11, 11:30. It's the early kickoff.
I mean, it makes sense. It's South Carolina, so understandable. But LSU, Florida State looked like the most exciting, and by looked like it was the most exciting game of the weekend. I missed, I missed all of it. I told you a little bit about what I did Sunday with my 13-year-old dog being sick. I was at the after hours animal clinic essentially all day and night. And he's fine right now, by the way. He's in recovery. So shout out Dexter. And they're resting. So yeah, I missed the entire game, but watching the highlights, wow, like I saw like the Barstool Mincy, I think the guy's name is, the Ole Miss dude. But
Yeah.
and he was all over the top, wild, talking about that's the most crazy 2 minutes I've ever seen in a game. But he does that on like everything, it seems like. So I couldn't like take it seriously, just because that's kind of his reaction to a lot of things. But then I went back and looked at it. I was like, wow, that that was insane. So just all this back and forth looked like Florida State had it. Give it up at the goal line. LSU gets it, somehow marches all the way down the field, scores on the last play of the game, and then a kick gets blocked. So not the start Brian Kelly wants, there at LSU. What did he say? Like at it is one of his the thing out on the court in his southern accent. And I ain't even won all my games yet. Like I had that rolling through
I
my head.
I thought he yeah, I thought you were talking about the y'all, his terrible y'all.
Well, just
But
all of it.
yeah, all of it's terrible. But
All of it was bad, but that's what really stood out to me. I ain't even won all my games yet. I was
now
like, what the hell, man?
you think that game was a better game than the Florida Utah?
Okay, that was a really good game. Yeah. Okay,
And that one was actually close for most of the game.
The
LSU
LSU
kind of had
Florida,
to come back.
yeah, yeah,
They
the
had a better
LSU
end.
Florida
Well,
State.
I don't
Let's
know.
keep talking over each other. Go ahead, make your point.
Okay, yeah.
It's like LSU
So
Florida
you,
State was the wildest game. I'll put it that way. It was the most wild game
yeah,
of the weekend. Florida Utah was the best game. And yeah, I don't even know if Florida was ranked, but then
they
what are
were
they
not.
now?
They
They
are
were,
number 12.
but were they even ranked?
No,
Yeah, I thought that. And then I saw that they had jumped to 12 because they're hosting Kentucky this week. Quarterback looked good though from the
we know
highlights
what
I
that's
saw,
about. They bumped up their numbers for the Kentucky matchup.
I guess. But I mean, they did beat a top 10
They
team.
did, but who's
So
saying that the top 10 team wasn't overrated in the first place?
yeah, I mean, Utah will do well in the Pac 12,
Yeah, they will.
but I mean, yeah, it makes sense. But I mean, the Florida quarterback looked good from the highlights I saw. I didn't watch that game. I was watching the Notre Dame Ohio State just
Why?
because CJ Stroud.
Yeah, it was a game there for like the first half.
CJ Stroud is the reason. He is that is my clear cut number one pick in the draft next year. CJ Stroud is your next stud NFL quarterback. And he makes every throw. He can make every throw. Like, that sideline, like, from the other hash mark, that sideline throw on that out that all the pros like the superstar pros can make. Like, that's a perfect, like, it's the stereotypical, that's a pro quarterback throw. He made it perfect. But the thing about him, he makes difficult plays look routine. He makes difficult plays and throws look routine. And I was just sitting there just wow at some of the plays he made. And listening to his interview after the game, I'm a big fan of that kid, man. CJ Stroud, dude, he's gonna do some big time stuff at the next level if he stays healthy. Knock on wood over here.
Did he
Uh,
like give all of like the whole team like $500 gift cards to like the
yes,
suit shop?
to
Yeah.
get a suit. Yeah, I don't. And if anybody's going to be getting NLI stuff, did I say that right? NIL.
NIL.
Okay, yeah, and not a national letter of intent, but yeah, the name, image, likeness. There we go. If
Yeah.
anybody's going to get that kind of stuff, it should be him. And I appreciate him doing that for his teammates, but mate, just let that be it. Don't let that be a sign of how you're going to spend your. He's going to make a lot of money though. He's going to make a whole lot of money in his career if he stays healthy. Dude's going to be the number one pick, man, in a quarterback rich draft. But I would watch Ohio State just for him, just to watch him play. I mean, he's an absolute king back there at quarterback, man.
So what was the worst game of the weekend?
Oh, I don't
Yeah,
know. I mean, what was it?
it was had to be Georgia just rocking the shit out of Oregon.
Yeah, I mean that was not a good game. And I'm friends with an Oregon fan, and she had posted like a pic with her hubby at like B Dubs or something. She's all in her Oregon gear, and she lives in Florida, and she's like rocking all her Oregon gear, like getting ready for kickoff. And I'm thinking, oh, this isn't gonna go well.
That's a bad idea.
And it did. It did not go well for Oregon. It was so bad. God, the Bo Nix era got off to a rough start. Of course, he's been like that, his entire career against Georgia, no matter what uniform he's wearing. What is he, a true senior now?
Yep.
True senior Bo Nix? Is that what we're calling him?
I'm
Because
not calling him that. I'm just calling him Bo Nix.
I'm calling him true senior. I'm calling him true whatever he is, Bo Nix, because that's what all the announcers called him when he was a freshman. Every play was true freshman Bo Nix, true freshman Bo Nix, and it got comical to the point where I'm just sticking with it. So whatever year he is, he's true whatever Bo Nix to me. So he's true senior Bo Nix, as far as I'm concerned. So that's the backstory of why I call him that. I mean, if you remember that, right?
Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah, it was annoying as hell, but to the point I'm embracing it and I'm going with it, just out of fun. But okay, another quarterback stood out to me. Of course, I watch a lot of Clemson football. That's my team outside of Arkansas, and it admittedly started when they made Alabama quit in the national championship game in 2018. Trevor Lawrence and crew literally made them quit, like mercy ruled Alabama. And from that point on, I was like, I'm a Clemson football fan. Like I don't care. And of course, Arkansas football was not fun to watch at the time, so I needed another team to root for. Clemson became that team. They became the team I would watch on Saturdays until current head coach came in place. Never wasn't an Arkansas fan, but man, I hated that era. Hated that era during that time. But watching Clemson last year, like Clemson had a down year last year and they were 10-3. 10-3 and won the bowl game. But it was just you go from Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence, top tier quarterback talents, and stellar premier offensive play at the collegiate level, to DJ5. Uh, I still can't say his last name. They said it plenty of
I
times last night. Still can't do it. So I just go DJ5.
was really hoping you knew how to pronounce it because I did not.
Uyunglele or something.
That's pretty close, I
I
think.
think the second was close. I think the second one was close, but I had to stutter a couple of times in my brain and spit it out before I could even get close. That still may not be right, but DJ5 is just a lot easier to say. But like I talked about a little bit earlier, man, the offense still looks the same. It doesn't look like there was any improvement. And now he made a couple of plays last night on, like, there was one drive in particular where he led them down the field to a touchdown. I want to say he ran it in or threw it in or something, but I was like, okay, there's something. All right, that's better. And they were up what 27, like 30 some 31-10, maybe something like that, give or take. I don't remember what it was, but 34-10, I think is correct. Either way, they were winning. Game's over. In comes the freshman recruit everybody's clamoring about. Cade Klubnik. Yeah, I guess that's how you say his last name. Cade Klubnik, the number one dual threat coming out of high school last year. Texas, quarterback from Texas, three-time state champion. You looked at his stats, just a complete freaking winner, right? You're like, okay, this is on paper, this is the next guy. Let's see what they got. Like the fans were cheering as he's coming out. And I know that I think Georgia Tech starters were still in the game at that point.
Yeah,
I don't
they
care.
were.
And here's the thing, like somebody, like I made the comment on Twitter, I'd be shocked if he's not starting in week 2, which he probably won't be, just looking at their schedule because they're playing Furman, on Saturday. So you're not going to start him there, but he's going to get some playing time. He's going to play plenty in that game, I'm sure. Or if anything, they'll probably keep DJ out there a while just to get him more work. Like, let's get a really good look and decide what we're going to do. Like, really make a decision. Dabo knows that Cade Klubnik is the guy. Like, he's the better quarterback. He's like, I don't want to rush him out there too soon. Is essentially what I'm assuming, because it took me 2 throws. I don't care that it was the last. I don't care that it was at the end of the game and the game was out of hand. I don't care who it was against, Georgia Tech. I don't care. I saw 2 throws, the first 2 completions he made. DJ5 can't make those throws. There was one in particular where he just fit it through the tightest of windows that got them down by the goal line. I was like, that's it. I mean, I've seen enough. I saw enough on the first pass, but the second one, I was like, yep, that's it. That's the guy. He's the better quarterback. It's just a question of when do you put him in. Like when they really hit ACC play and that offense starts to struggle, which they will do because that's what they've done the entire time under DJ5. It's gonna you're gonna hear a lot of fans clamoring for that freshman superstar, and I don't blame them. It's just essentially how soon do you put him out there? Dabo doesn't want to. He just doesn't want to rush him. He doesn't want to rush him. He knows I'm playing Georgia Tech. I'm playing Furman. This is my guy right now. He got us 10 wins last year, as sloppy as it was at times. We'll play this kid when he's ready. But of course, he played Trevor Lawrence from the get go, essentially over Kelly Bryant, but that's Trevor Lawrence. Of course, you're going to start Trevor Lawrence over Kelly Bryant.
Yeah.
But yeah, Cade Klubnik is the future at Clemson. It's just how soon does that era start? It starts this season. I'd be completely shocked if it wasn't probably by week 6. Like, so of course you say whatever on Twitter. I mean, it's Twitter. I don't care.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not. This is what I said, so this is what I'm going to stick with. That's Twitter. I said something in to if anything emphasize a point that this is the guy. You know, but you can nitpick all that, but point is, Kate Klubnik is the dude. He's the future there. And okay, going back to Georgia, Oregon. Do you think Stetson Bennett gets enough credit?
He's starting to, yeah.
Yeah,
I think after this past weekend, yeah, he's getting it.
see, that's the thing. No one would consider him probably a top. I mean, would you say he's a top 3 SEC quarterback?
Yeah.
I would too. I mean, I wouldn't put him over Bryce Young, of course.
No.
Uh, I don't know who I'd put above him in that spot.
Spencer
Number
Rattler.
2. What is he, the South Carolina guy now? Yeah.
Yeah, he didn't have a hot start last weekend.
Yeah. I mean, he didn't have a hot start any of last year at Oklahoma on a better
True.
team. So that makes sense. A lot of people are high on the Kentucky quarterback. And then the Mississippi State guy puts up all those numbers. Of course, you're going to do that in Mike Leach's offense. But yeah, I mean, just the plays Stetson made where he scrambled around and then threw a touchdown pass. I mean, that's Stetson Bennett. He's just a damn good football player. He's not a pro. He's not going to light it up at the next level, but he's going to win a lot of college football games, and he's a champion. And he's got a lot of great pieces around him. They've got like a tight end factory there now, apparently, where they're just in creative player mode, and they just go and put the height, on the creative thing like 6'7", and then just put the weight at 270. They're like, yeah, that'd be big. And then they watch how big they are on the image, and like, let's make his muscles bigger. And then they do that, and then they hit create. They give him a name, and then they hit create. And they've done that 2 or 3 times, and that's how Georgia has these tight ends.
That dude is huge.
Yeah, and
Uh,
who I thought is the best tight end in the country is not even that guy. It's the other guy. I can't even remember his name. But it's dude, Georgia Kirby Smart has, dude. He has found he definitely took notes from Saban as far as how to recruit. Of course, I don't know how much Kirby Smart helped with the recruiting process. Maybe he was a huge part of that. I mean, he had to have been, I guess, right? Because he
yeah.
clearly knows how to recruit. Because I kept saying when Mark Richt got essentially let go, it was, I mean, where does Georgia think they're going to be? Like why are they upset with 9 and 10 win seasons?
Yeah.
Now I can see why. They're the clear cut team to beat in the East, and on top of that, they legitimately contend with Alabama. I mean, they're neck and neck. Which, by the way, Georgia's number 2 in the rankings now, deservedly so. But yeah, that's gonna make for some fun matchups. I thought Georgia would take it. I mean, granted, of course, it's week 1. We don't know how good they're going to be moving forward, but man, they looked really good. I won't say it doesn't look like they missed a beat, but because I didn't watch I didn't watch much of the game either. But man, they look really good. You can't ask for a better start if you're them. Care to add? No,
No, I think you said it all.
I nailed it basically,
Yeah,
right?
you nailed it.
All right. Well, we'll jump to pro football now. Yes, which by the way, I need to join a fantasy league tomorrow and get on a draft because I don't want to miss Thursday's game. I want to be a
You want
part
to
of
know
that.
a fun fact? I
What's that?
have not one, but two fantasy football drafts tomorrow night at the same time. That'll be fun.
At the same
Hopefully,
time?
yeah. I'm not pleased with any of those two commissioners. So
Wow. So how many leagues are you in? Are you still in the same amount of leagues?
three, yeah. I still don't know why, but
And
I'm in
then
three.
and then a DraftKings league or whatever?
Yes.
Wow. Well,
Peer
you have fun
pressure,
with that.
man. Peer pressure.
So you basically you're just not gonna have you're just gonna be watching football games. That's it.
What
Or at
else
least
would you be doing?
doing fantasy. I don't know,
Yeah,
sleeping or
I'm gonna be watching football, yeah.
I mean I will be too. Man, that's a lot to keep up with, man.
Man, you just have to, yeah, take 20 minutes out of your day every Sunday and set your lineups.
Nah, man. I mean, I'll do that with one league. Like all my attention is going to that one league, so I know it's going to be the best and most thought out that I could do. I
Mm,
can't do more than one. Because yeah, we've gone over this before, so we don't have to get into it. But yeah, I can't do more than one. But dude, the NFL knocked it out of the park though, as far as setting up week one matchups. Thursday, Bills at Rams. Hell of a way to start the season. Which was Josh Allen the consensus fantasy first fantasy quarterback taken? Like who's ranked? Is there anybody ranked higher than him? Because I obviously haven't gotten in a draft room, and I won't until
man,
tomorrow.
I think on some rankings I've seen, uh, old Pat, he's ranked a little bit higher, but it's them two.
I figured Josh Allen with his running and stuff. I mean, of course, Mahomes can do it too, but Josh Allen, I figured he would be the guy that I would take
Yeah, for
if I
sure.
was going to take a quarterback for I would take Josh Allen.
I
But
say that. I think Josh Allen got taken before. Yeah, he did. Josh Allen got taken first in the one I did last week because I ended up getting Mr. Mahomes.
I would take I would take Josh Allen first too. But yeah, Bills at Rams Thursday. Monday night, capping off the week, Monday night football, Broncos at Seahawks. So that'll be interesting. Of course, you got the Browns at Panthers on Sunday. Some other matchups I'm interested in seeing, not quite as ooh, whoa, what's gonna happen here. Of course, former teams and everybody. Uh Bucks at Cowboys, Sunday night football. That'll be interesting to see. Packers at Vikings. I think the Vikings can yeah, I think the Vikings could surprise some people. I think I don't know if I can put a number. I think that could be like an 11-12 win team, Minnesota. So I'm interested to see what they do against Green Bay and who Aaron Rodgers is going to throw to on top of that. Raiders at Chargers looks like a good Sunday matchup. And I got Jags and Washington on here too, strictly because I want to see how much improvement Jacksonville has made. Trevor Lawrence and company, and just with the new pieces he has around him. So those are the ones interested, or those are the games that look interesting to me. College football Saturday, jumping back to it, coming up this Saturday. Not reflecting on this
I
past
haven't even
week's.
looked at any of the matchups.
I looked at some of them. There aren't really a whole lot of big games. The big games are number 9 Baylor at 21 BYU, or no, yeah, 21. Uh, Kentucky at Florida, a 20-12 matchup, and then Tennessee at Pitt. That's kind of a another one that,
It's
and
intriguing.
it is intriguing. Of course, it's kind of typical. Tennessee's getting all the love, which I haven't seen enough of Tennessee to think that or to know whether or not they're worth that ranking. Or it seems like
Probably
Tennessee
not,
is
but
I mean, that's what recent history has told us. Tennessee is thought of as higher than what they really are. Ever since like the Josh Dobbs era, where I remember that one announcer was like, "Hey, you're having to replace the legendary Josh Dobbs." I'm like, "Legendary? We're gonna call him legendary? Peyton Manning is legendary."
Didn't in that in the game we went to at Neyland, didn't Dobbs start and he get beat?
Yes,
Yeah,
yes. And then they
that was
have
a
like,
fun game.
yes, it was. I don't even remember who their running back was, but I was like, they have like a tight end playing running back. It made no sense to me. I mean, they had this big like 6 foot something running back that really wasn't that good. And you could tell everybody thought really highly of him and Dobbs and all that. Josh Dobbs is more like a Kellen Mond. Uh slightly less good than wow, I really said that. I would say he's like just a little bit under Kellen Mond's ability. Or maybe yeah, they're pretty close, I would say. And but yeah, legendary was some I just cringed when I heard that. I was like, come on. Like
What if they're
legendary.
what if they were being sarcastic?
They were not. She was a sideline reporter and she was saying it like the legendary Josh Jobs that you're gonna have to replace. I'm like, whoa. Like we just throw words around like legendary now, apparently. But yeah, that's essentially people. They're almost like the Notre Dame of Tennessee in a sense that, or not Notre Dame. I would say Texas of the SEC, which we can't say that much longer because Texas is about to join. But they keep waiting for Tennessee to be back. Is what I'm
Yeah,
saying. That like the people are waiting for Tennessee to be back to what they were, and they're just not. They're not there. They're not going to be there anytime soon, from what I can see. They're gonna have seasons where they win 8 games, and but they should. It's Tennessee, but they're not going to be 96 Tennessee. They're not. We're not going to see. Well, no, we might see an ESPN tweet of Tennessee is back, although they kind of reserve that for
I,
Texas.
I think they already put that out last week. So,
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised because that's essentially what they are of our the SEC league is they keep the media keeps waiting for them to be back, and it's always premature, and they're just not there. They're not there. But yeah, those are the big games that stood out to me. Um, a couple of going to Arkansas teams. Listen to this. Of course, Arkansas is hosting South Carolina, but
yeah,
UCA, University of Central Arkansas, at Ole Miss. And
yo,
here's the other
the
one.
other one's a beat down.
Yes, do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know what you're talking
Yes,
about.
Arkansas State at Ohio State. So that's gonna not be
Ooh,
fun for Arkansas State. I will check it out if it's on TV. Like that's the thing. I don't know if it'll even be on. Just to watch CJ Stroud. Of course, how long will he play? I don't know. Probably a half, maybe. So I don't know. I don't. I mean, probably won't watch it just because it's not going to be interesting. But
he'll be responsible for at least 5 touchdowns, I bet, before he gets pulled.
probably because Arkansas State's not what they were, you know, 5 years ago
Yeah, so you could say
when they were in
5 years
Sun
ago they
Belt.
were doing pretty good, but
They were the best team in the state 5 years ago
yep.
by a lot. They there was a stretch they would have beaten Arkansas probably 4 years in a row had they played.
Hmm, maybe the Chad Morris years, yeah. I don't know if they would have gotten us during Bielema.
I think they could have beaten them the last year. Bielema's his last year. I think they could have
Definitely
beaten
John
them.
L.
Oh yeah, and that was the thing. Yeah, well, yeah, definitely John L. Of course, Bielema was in between that.
Oh man.
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, let's push those memories away. So we try not to have them. But okay, Arkansas, South Carolina, pick and score real quick.
Pick and score. I will say Arkansas 35, South Carolina 21.
35-21. All right. I'm gonna say Arkansas 38, South Carolina 24. I'll go with that. I think Cam Little's gonna. By the way, still just an absolute stud kicker. By the way, just extra
Yeah.
points, just looking perfect. big Cam Little fan. But yeah, okay. So there's your picks, plural. And I did see as I was kind of putting the topic list together, of course, last minute. Uh, Pat Bev, headline.
Yeah, I seen that too.
Excited to play with Russell Westbrook. Did you see the video of the press conference?
About where they say he said AD and LeBron get to play with him.
I
That
don't know
one.
about that, but this was a post workout like today. It might have been today, where it was like a post workout with the Lakers, and he's still all sweaty and stuff. And then Westbrook walks into the room as he's talking about him, and Westbrook throws him a towel, and he was like, oh thanks, he was like, oh thanks, man. He's like, he was like, good dime, first of many. Yeah, it was like
Yeah.
you could tell they were like kind of waiting to do that, for the media, but I don't know. Maybe it'll work. I mean, Pat Bev just wants to win. I don't think he cares who it's with. And I'm sure Westbrook does too. Westbrook just doesn't have any self awareness of how's the best way I can help this team. He just plays the same way he did 10 years ago, and that's not working anymore. And it really didn't work then. It did in spurts, but it's definitely not working now. But if anybody's going to tell him, "Hey, cut that shit out," it's going to be Pat Bev. You know, might not always go well. And he even said that. He even said sometimes we're gonna have some uncomfortable conversations, but it's what it is. I'm interested in helping the team win. So yeah. Uh yeah, and I feel like we should have more to talk about. There's a lot more going on this week than we talked about. And we like covered everything.
Yeah.
Just not a lot of marquee games really next weekend. But we'll get there. And I will say this before we sign out, uh, on just a different note, uh, rest in peace, Eliza Fletcher, the Memphis school teacher mother who was uh, unfortunately and senselessly abducted and killed. I think it was Friday, September 2nd. Her body was recovered today. A lot of people around the community and beyond are going to honor her tomorrow by running 3.4 miles. 'Cause that's how old she was, 34 years old. And I will be doing that as well. I'll be getting a 3.4 mile run in for Eliza Fletcher. Uh, Tragic, misfortunate, but rest in peace to her. Prayers for her family. And but on a different, more positive note, we are going to go ahead and get out of here, and we'll be back next week. Same time next Tuesday. And I really had to search for a number for this one. Number 46, the Andy Pettit episode. So, yeah. There aren't a lot of 46s,
Yeah, it's
man.
fixing good research.
But
Good
that's
R&D.
that's not a knock on Pettit. Pettit was a player. He had over 200 wins. He's a champion. But until then, this is Graham Powell,
It's Brother Brown.
and we're out till next time, y'all.